So late on in the Atlanta Dream game, Stephanie White benched Caitlin Clark for defense. And a lot of people are wondering why she did that and whether it was the right decision. And if you guys agree, subscribe. We've just actually hit 46.5k. We were going for 46.5 at the end of the day. Thank you guys so much. If we can hit 46.6k, that would be insane. If you guys are interested in the channel. But we got to talk about that last possession. We got to talk about a lot of the decisions that were made by the Indiana Fever in down the stretch, and a lot of decisions made in the game by Stephanie White. And we're gonna talk about the last possession, because that was an important one. So Aaliyah hits the free throw to make it a 1-point game. And by the way, the Indiana Fever have gotten they've gotten how many stops in a row? They've gotten a whole bunch of stops in a row, so their defense was clearly working. It was clearly working. The previous possession, like, it was 89, 87. I'm just trying to look at the previous possession to see what happened for the 89 all possession on the defensive end. So I'm watching it right now. So Lexi Hull is guarding Ryan Howard, and Lexi Hull every time Lexi Hull guards Ryan Howard, she locks her down. Lexi Hull's on Ryan Howard. Caitlin Clark is guarding Walker Kimbrough. And if you look at how Caitlin Clark played in that fourth quarter, she's essentially playing like a backline help. She's not really worried about Walker Kimbrough. It's a lot of backside help. You can see here they're boxing in on Natasha Howard. So they are willing to let, because Griner's about to get fouled out in this possession, they're willing to let is that Naz? It's not Naz Hillman. Oh my God, I blanked on her name. I blanked on her name. She got the game-winning block. Nia Coffey. They're willing to let Nia Coffey beat them. So if you're looking here, that is kind of how they're set up in the previous possession. And no matter what is happening, that's kind of how they're playing this. They're switching some screens here and there. But if you look at Caitlin Clark, even on the drive from Ryan Howard, Caitlin Clark is not worried about Walker Kimbrough. Caitlin Clark is in a position where she can cover that. As you can see, Natasha Howard is playing inside that Brittany Griner screen, which allows Aaliyah Boston to help. So they actually have been doing a pretty good job on the defensive end. Like, Caitlin Clark ends up getting caught out completely by Walker Kimbrough curling, but because of the help from Aaliyah Boston, they're good, and they have to go and panic. They get it to Coffey. The ball gets swung to Alicia Gray, who kind of panics. Obviously, I can't show the clip, and Alicia Gray ends up shooting a step back three and missing the shot. But so then the next possession, they sub off, as they're up one, they sub off Caitlin Clark for defense. And I'm going to show you guys what happens in this possession, because again, look, this was a key possession. They subbed off Caitlin Clark for defense after Aaliyah Boston hit the free throw, and they sub on DeWanna Bonner for Caitlin Clark. Personally, I would have subbed on DeWanna Bonner. I would have either not made the decision to sub or subbed on DeWanna Bonner for Kelsey Mitchell, because only one player was taking the shot, and it was Ryan Howard. So Ryan Howard, who's been locked down quite a lot by Lexi Hull, I understand bringing in DeWanna Bonner for the defense possession here. However, if you're watching what they do here, so early in the play, starting off Ryan Howard's on Alicia Gray, they full court. Why they are full court pressing with 21.7 seconds to go, I don't know. Up one, and they switch so easily off this screen, and suddenly you've got a mismatch. They are full court denying. DeWanna Bonner is full court denying for some reason. They've got a mismatch here. And then, obviously, now you've got a situation where Ryan Howard is on Kelsey Mitchell. And all of a sudden, they're back into half court. So because they go full court denial, you get the switch for Kelsey Mitchell on Ryan Howard. And by the way, Caitlin Clark is a better defender on Ryan Howard. Caitlin Clark is a better one-on-one defender on Ryan Howard, because Ryan Howard is too big for Kelsey Mitchell. They walk themselves into a mismatch before the ball is inbounded. And then they come back down. And look at this on the drive. So, you see the drive here. Kelsey Mitchell has done a good job forcing Ryan Howard in. Aaliyah Boston needs to hold this help. She needs to get to the elbow here, which is good. Then there's a crossover. Ryan Howard is in absolutely no position to do anything. Perfect defense. And for some reason, Kelsey Mitchell has two hands all over Ryan Howard and then hacks her. Like, that's very obviously a foul. There's no way to challenge that. They play as perfect a defensive possession and Kelsey Mitchell fouls. But the problem is that Kelsey Mitchell has a size mismatch. In order for Kelsey Mitchell, that's something that, by the way, may not have been called a foul earlier on in the game. It's something that may not have been called a foul, but it is a foul. Ironically, Kelsey Mitchell fouled her way earlier. Kelsey Mitchell fouled her before the shot. She had her hands all over her. But the problem is that Kelsey Mitchell has the size disadvantage over Ryan Howard. And they allowed them to walk into that switch straight away. And if you look at the way the matchups were, they in fact took Caitlin Clark off for DeWanna Bonner to deny Walker Kimbrough. Like, for me, that decision doesn't make much sense. For me, that decision makes no sense at all, because Caitlin Clark playing as what Caitlin Clark is very good at, she's very good at being a roaming weak side defender. Like, that is the one thing I will say Caitlin Clark is really, really good at, is being a roaming weak side defender. So what I would say when it comes to that play is it was a wrong call. It was a wrong call to put DeWanna Bonner in for Caitlin. What they should have done if they were going to switch, it was DeWanna Bonner for Kelsey Mitchell. Leave Caitlin Clark play as a roamer. Leave Caitlin play as a roamer, because she does it well. She anticipates passes well. That's the one thing Caitlin does very, very well. The one thing she does very, very well is be a roaming weak side defender. And they shouldn't have switched that easily off the first screen. Like, they should not have switched that easily before the inbound pass went in. But the Atlanta Dream got exactly what they wanted. They got the mismatch. They have their 6'2" strong guard on the 5'8", 7.5" guard from the Indiana Fever. Like, they got a 7-inch mismatch. And I don't blame Kelsey Mitchell. I don't blame Kelsey Mitchell, because Kelsey Mitchell has to be physical, otherwise Ryan Howard just runs through her. And like, that was not a smart decision from the Indiana Fever coaching staff. So I'm going to talk about a couple of other really crazy, strange decisions from the coaching staff. First of all, when Caitlin Clark was being guarded by Maya Caldwell in the third, taking the ball out of Caitlin Clark's hands in the third quarter made no sense. Made absolutely no sense whatsoever, because Caitlin, and by the way, it wasn't good enough. Caitlin just seemed disengaged as a decoy. Like, I understand Caitlin Clark's a willing passer. Caitlin Clark, in fairness, is willing to do certain things. She's willing to play off the ball in certain situations. But there's a difference between playing off the ball and playing decoy. She played decoy. She just ran to the opposite side of the floor and stood in the corner. And the problem is that, and this is a Caitlin Clark problem as much as it's a coach problem. Caitlin Clark, if Caitlin Clark is being told go stand in the corner, she can become disengaged. And she looked disengaged all in that game. I just think it was some experimentation. And look, we all know how badly that last play went. And by the way, I don't know why, Stephanie White said we were looking for DeWanna Bonner. Like, if you look at that play, this is a play for Natasha Howard. Like, there's no, it was actually, it's a good play. I actually think this is a good play. It's a lob play. It's a lob play. Like, I actually think that this is a good play. Like, if you look at this play, just watch what happens if this is to Aaliyah Boston. So you can see the screen there is to Aaliyah Boston. And what the play is meant to be is basically the first look, yes, is to Aaliyah Boston, but that's not what you're looking for. That is not what you're looking for. You can see by Caitlin Clark, she's very much tunnel visioned on that pass there early. Like, she is looking towards that pass. But as you can see, Kelsey Mitchell immediately, you can see the way Kelsey Mitchell's not setting screens. Kelsey Mitchell immediately runs to set the back screen. That is the play. That is the play. Anyone who's played any level of basketball knows how common the screen, clear out, back screen, lob play is. It is a very straightforward play. And the play was ran to perfection. Like, Kelsey Mitchell did not set the screen well. And Caitlin Clark threw an absolute inch perfect pass. Caitlin Clark probably could have sent thrown a little bit better of a pass, because Nia Coffey's not even looking at the pass. Caitlin could have thrown a bit of a better pass there, but that was the play. They got a good look out of it. That's the play. The play is to Natasha Howard. Like, you can look at Aaliyah Boston. Like, even if the screen is set, I'm sorry, there's 9 seconds to go. They are not going. Like, if you see with Aaliyah, with the guard-to-guard screen, like with that crappy guard-to-guard screen, if they wanted to get the ball in the low block, I'm not joking when I say this, Kelsey Mitchell, she could have just done anything. You don't start Aaliyah Boston here to get Aaliyah Boston free in the low block. You literally just go and set her up here. Set her up here. I'm not joking, because Bree Turner is not going to, or Bree Jones. I keep calling Bree Turner, Bree Jones, Bree Turner. Bree Jones is not going to fully front from here. Set her up here. And then if she fully fronts, Caitlin Clark throws the lob for a layup. Like, the play was for Natasha Howard. That's fine. That's fine. It's a lob play. Unless it was a completely different play and they screwed up the entire play. Unless they screwed up every single part of the play. And also, I don't understand why the Indiana Fever didn't foul. There's 4 seconds to go on the shot clock. Caitlin's the only player who looks like she's considering fouling. Like, Aaliyah Boston stops playing. I don't know why they didn't try to foul here, but it is what it is. Because they had another timeout. But, like, either it was a lob play, or they ran, or they winged it. Or something went seriously wrong and they winged it. I would hope it's a lob play, because I don't mind. It's not a bad play. It was just not smart to run it to Natasha Howard late in the game. But, yeah, honestly, it makes sense. It makes sense, like, why they tried to do it. So, yeah, that is the video. There were some really weird coaching decisions down the stretch. And look, it's game 2 of 44. It's game 2 of 44. I would rather Steph White do dumb things now than do dumb things in the playoffs like what Christy Sides did. I would rather she make some dumb decisions now, coaching, than get notions and think that slowing the game down is going to win you a series in the playoffs. I would rather she have, like, she try some crazy stuff now and do dumb things. You live with that. Obviously they did not lose because of coaching. But, like, if you lose a 1-point game because of just some crazy things like that is what a lot of the time what coaches are for, is for those situations. And you hope that they do a better job in the future. Like, you hope they do a better job in the future. But at the same time, look, it is what it is. It is what it is. We can talk about it. They benched Caitlin Clark. Not a smart decision. But anyway, yeah, that's the video. I'll see you guys.